Dear friend, today we'll discuss one of the most important and controversial about miasms among homeopaths. Now, who is right? The miasm riddles. The controversy about miasm among homeopaths because few homeopaths understand miasm in the light of physics or scientific way. That is the problem. I think and declaring the theory of miasm in view of modern physics, we can avoid many unresolved part of homeopathy if we connect miasm to physics, the most modern science. Miasm is generally, we classify miasm in two patterns. It is a type patterns of disease, functional and structural. I confine the miasm in two parts, simplifying it in functional and structural manifestation. Functional is generally a cause. Hahnemann call it soda. Its manifestation, his name was given by Hahnemann, and it was soda, and it is similar to the I have seen with so many discussion with so many pupils, so many homeopath and non-homeopath. What I understand, it's in view of modern physics that soda is nothing but a frictional type of frictional force, excess frictional force. This excess frictional force, its manifested as a itch disease, and frictional force, excess frictional force is the cause. It again can be a trigger also to the other fundamental forces, and one more, that is other miasm, that is a structural one, structural manifestation. Structural, it may be two types. One is excess structural growth or changes, Hahnemann call it psychosis, and other is atrophy in nature, where a destructive process is on, destruction, or it's a not the proper growth, but the growth is retarded. So that is, Hahnemann named it as a, because of that is a syphilitic miasm. So variation of gravitational force and its suppression in a living organism, that syphilitic miasm, that is called syphilitic miasm in homeopathy. Therefore, soda is equivalent to frictional force, psychosis is equivalent to excess electromagnetic force, manifestation of excess electromagnetic force, and syphilis is manifestation of excess gravitational force. And this is, for this, I am the first man, I am declaring the above idea in front of world community to think the chronic disease as above way to get a specific conception about the chronic disease. It is a continuous debate among homeopathic community without any consensus to solve the riddle of miasm theory in homeopathy. Some dedicated soul who present in every field never do a critic study and analyze and give an issue. There are many views about miasms, many views, so many views. They are telling that miasm is not 3 as per Hahnemann, it is more than 3 miasm, 4 miasm. As for Allen, it is 4 miasm, and other stalwarts, they have said, ranging from divine punishment scenes to quantum theory of physics. Some ideas between astrologies, some idea they have given, they are counting as astrology as a miasm, bacterial causes, viral infections, chemical toxin, vaccination, constitution, sexual transmitted diseases, and the list go on. But it will be, it is an absurd thing that any amount of discussion about miasms without any chronic disease is absurd. So first, if there is a chronic disease, there is possibility presence of miasm. And that was, and moreover, one more thing you have to remember, that without suppression, there is no miasm. That is also there. There is, without suppression, there is no chronic disease as such. And that was Hahnemann's chief objective view to introduce miasm in homeopathy. Even some disciple of Hahnemann, there are so many views. Even some disciples of Hahnemann, Dr. Richard Hughes never believed about miasms theory, and Dr. J.T. Kent was a firm believer, whereas Dr. Constantine Herring was in opinion, sometimes yes and sometimes no. The question of introducing miasm theory is highly controversial, and not only with other skeptics, allopaths, but in homeopathic community itself. That is the reason we have to think deeply, who is right, how we will solve the riddle. Here, to solve the riddle scientifically, I am studying miasm with the help of physics so many years and reached in some conclusion that I have said in my part 2 speeches. Hahnemann himself tried till his last work for unification of chronic diseases and organon of medicine, as there are many differences we find when we study the two books separately. And funny thing is that the writer was the same. Writer is same, but he has written one way in the chronic disease and other way in the organ of medicine. So in the two books, and even tried to unify these two books throughout his whole life, but there are so many differences we can find in these two books. Here, in this case, I asked so many stalwarts, so many scientists, those who were studying homeopathy, they gave me different ideas, but they are telling their own ideas with their own angles. Like many homeopaths tell, study Hahnemann more and more, you will get your all answers. Yes, Hahnemann's view may be correct to somebody and may not to others, or who views homeopathy from others' angle. It was the basic idea of theory of relativity to see a space from different angles. Unless we connect homeopathy with the basic laws of modern physics, it is just simply follow an idea like a blind. With respect of time, we have to upgrade the homeopathy with the views of modern science. Hahnemann also tried to unify both the organ and chronic disease with respect of contemporary scientific fear, and ultimately changes to 50 millisimal scales. There is a large gap yet lying to unification, and of course a difficult job also, as 1,000 crores of rupees is already spent. A huge number of scientists are working day and night for unification of the basic physical forces of quantum physics, and they could not yet do the same. And for this, these natural laws of therapeutics, this is organ of medicine and the chronic disease. Here unification job is also a difficult thing for the, and we have to understand both the, unless we understand both the organ of medicine and chronic disease in a more comprehensible and scientific way, there is no way for unification unless we do so. In my view, for every case, if we indicate our finger towards Hahnemann, that whatever Hahnemann has said is correct, then a stagnant condition in homeopathy will arise, and we will be in the same position like a frog in the well. So, as Hahnemann tried for unification in a serious way, last of his life, till his death, he tried it, but there is a huge gap between organ of medicine and chronic diseases. So here we see a chaotic situation in the miasm. Somebody believes it, somebody tells no, the totality of symptoms we should follow. What is totality of symptoms? There is no idea. So that's a very difficult way unless we follow homeopathy with the help of physics, which can only show or which can solve our problem somehow, because it's a vast subject and vast thinking, and even today's physics is also bit controversial because one more quantum physics has come. Before that, theory of relativity was more important, and before that Newtonian science, and all are haphazard type. So we, with some ideas, some concepts of physics, we have to move and we have to solve the problem. In my next post, I will tell simply what is the scientific way or the concept of miasm in view of modern physics. Thank you.